Hey guys, welcome back to day 3 of the convention. If you checked out the other 2, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit a like on the video, all of them, and comment if you can. So this one, this is a pretty busy day. Starts out with this was the Saturday. Tomy had just started the campaign for the Refit Enterprise. They hit their goal when we were at their booth. They hit their goal 101% within 5 hours, which was amazing. So that moment's in here. There's some footage of the Enterprise E from Factory Entertainment, which is fantastic. Super expensive, but super fantastic. And also their tricorder that was featured on Tested. So if you watch this video, you'll see a lot of that stuff. There's also a panel with Terry Metalis, Dave Blass, Liz Kozłowski, and a few other people that worked on the Enterprise D Bridge for Picard Season 3. So there's a good chunk of that panel in here. Not the whole panel, obviously, but this is to give you guys the experience of being in Vegas if you've never been there or if you missed out this year. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. So give that a watch. There's also part of a Trek video games panel hosted by the Treksperts. Mark Altman's in that, and also it's got the lead writer, the head writer, Dan, I can't think of his last name now, but from Star Trek Resurgence, who later in the video is up in our hotel room signing some prints for Sam. So and then it ends out at the Masquerade Bar, which is where most of the days at Vegas STLV do end. So yeah, check out the video, enjoy. This one's about as long as the last one, around 45 minutes or so. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. So I'm going to stop talking your ear off, but like the video, subscribe to the channel, do the things, and comment what you think of this video down in the comments section. I'd really appreciate it. And also check out the other 2 videos as well. The preceded this one, there will be 1 or 2 after this one as well. So lots to enjoy. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. And anyway, let's just get on with the festivities, shall we? We're at the pool on the next morning. We're waiting for breakfast at the Hash House and thought we'd come out and check out the pool because been here a few times and never seen the pool. But check it out, it's really nice. I don't know if you guys have ever been here, but look, it's nice. So we're gonna just waiting for breakfast and then we'll get the day going. So yay. And this is gonna get copyrighted, guaranteed, because of that music. And then Mark and Sam. Hello.
No, so I design all these in a software and then send away for the parts and then tweak the instructions to make sure it's a good experience and then post them online.
Takes away from the experience when you're inventing.
What do you mean?
When you do it by hand, let's see what else can I do.
Yeah.
One of your lights on your DS9.
There was a Japanese boy there this morning. He could have been 5. Yeah.
Have to show him to get here. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely.
There was one woman who showed up. I've been there like 3 days. And she fit a bunch of people. She was
Last year was perfect. Nothing happened. I heard other things. I had hot water, cold water, everything was fine.
I think I was just this. Plates have gone from this to it's like it's still being awful. True. I had a very good time this morning. But don't you like your ribs expanding when you go to America? You don't. I've got 2 jumpsuits. So you've got 5 eating across the pond. So I can every day. I'm wrapping my project on the program. You look into the fan, the fan is taking the land. Too expensive. luxury. Oh, well, you guys subscribe to them? Just no, I know, but it's like £70 a piece. They're like 6 quid in high 60s. Yeah, proper like, but they're only XL size basically.
Oh, that's alright.
But still, yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
Johnny,
Like,
Dave Glass, Enterprisey. So, yeah. Oh, and Sam, of course.
How many money in the film? They use.
I look more like Christopher Lloyd when I hear, before I get a haircut, it goes out there. Yeah. It goes out there, it's Christopher Lloyd, doesn't hear it. Without the braids. But I'm Jordan.
Like one build set would cost them $2 million. I haven't seen myself happy about it. Yeah, we did 9 films last year with green screen. We did 7 films with yeah, it's on Facebook. This is like my 10th year of 13th.
Oh no, yeah, I got that. Because that was lucky that everyone happened to be here at the same time of the thing, and it was
Whatever. I used to call it this. Did you need a bag? Why did we tell you that?
You did. You did.
First time through, you're just gonna go through.
Yeah.
Magnet. This will actually be better than the
Yes, no, thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Oh yeah, definitely. Come on by.
Thank you. See you later.
Hey, Annie. Annie. Todd. 4 times.
Yeah.
$600. And for October 2025 is when they would actually be. But this is pre-orders. What they're doing is whatever orders they get, they're running. Is what they're going to do.
The crux would be where they're putting.
Oh, that's not our issue. You buy it for them, and if they, I don't think he's got anything like this.
We'll have to like say, hey, look at that.
Yeah.
Just kind of see his expression.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get a feel of
We'll be here for the whole time.
I mean, if we're going to spend that much money.
I like the fact that that piece goes on the back. It's covered.
Yes, so that will open and close. It's off right now, just so we can show it.
Yeah.
There's 90% done with like all of the design work on it. They're just making tweaks so it's as accurate to the motion picture as possible.
And so these is actually going to be die cast. So it's,
Yep. Yes. The base is also going to be die cast, and then they're working on the design team the structures just to make sure.
How many hours?
5.
5 hours. 5 hours. 5
5
hours.
hours.
Was there a guess that might happen, or was this kind of blowing expectations away?
I didn't expect that. I thought maybe by the end of the day, I didn't think 5 hours.
So you're going to make a cheeky prediction for the end of the day?
Probably.
What do you think? What number do you think you might end
Yeah, I'll probably go cry in the bathroom pretty soon. Tears of joy, obviously.
Now you'll make the damn thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Congrats, congrats.
Are these actual props or?
Oh, no.
No, I didn't think so, but it just.
If they were actual props,
They wouldn't even be here. They should be even.
And to take a look just on the outside.
That, and now it's medical. Oh wow, beautiful. Very nice. You selling this? No, I'm not.
It was not working.
You get everything.
So, I've had an interesting day. Good conversations with John Eves, Dave Blast, the actor that plays Bryce, Reese from Strange New Worlds, not Strange New Worlds, Discovery. Should try that again. Hello. So, he is a huge Trekyards fan. He actually lives in Toronto, which is cool, and he was at London. Forest City Comic Con in London, but that was on Father's Day, so I couldn't go. He ran into a friend of mine. Anyway, he knew I was going to be here in Vegas. We are going to try to get an interview with him and some other actors, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, it's been an interesting day so far, and it's only 12:41, so I'm technically day one. So should be a good convention overall. Lots of really great people, lots of great displays. Yeah, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the footage. Oh, Tomy, they, within 5 hours, 101% of their funding goal reached. We were actually at their booth when it happened. So thank you to everybody that got a Tomy Enterprise. I have more videos coming out about that on Trekyards channel, as well as this channel, the Captain Foley personal channel. So lots to hear about the Tomy Enterprise still to come. So did somebody call me? Hold on.
It was a lot simpler than it probably seems, but they literally came to me before season 2 and said, hey, we're creating this new character. You wouldn't have to wear prosthetics, would you want this? And I said yes.
We'll do tomorrow's panel with
Arian was
Mike.
amazing, the prosthetics were amazing. I mean, the one and only Doug Jones just took me under his wing and taught me everything and taught me patience and taught me, yeah, just incredible experience. But it was
the following thing happened. So, season 3 of Star Trek Picard won 4 Saturn Awards, one for supporting actress for Jerry Ryan. Give it up for Jerry Ryan. So deserved that award. Supporting computer playback supervisor Todd Marks. Set designer Kyle Porter. Set designer Kevin Cross. Art director Liz Bukowski. Production designer Dave Glass. And showrunner, executive producer, writer, director, craft services, Terry Quickly Vitalis. All right, so first of all, what did you all think of season 3 of Star Trek Picard, ladies and gentlemen?
Just imagine the coolest things you've ever had. Imagine how awesome it would be if you saw it.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. It's on the side
It's on the
screen.
sides. It's on the sides. All right, so first of all, first question, I want to throw this to Terry for the first question. While this video is going, like, whose idea was it really to bring back the D? Like, where did that epiphany come from? We got to do this in season 3 of Picard.
Well, it was mine. I knew that if we had to...
It came to convincing CBS, Paramount Plus to say yes to this.
Well, it was less about Paramount and CBS and more about budget, you know, and your producers were like, this is going to cost a big number. And I was like, well, let's start. We had, if it was going to happen, we were already delayed because we were shooting seasons 2 and 3 of Picard at the same time. And we had 2 because of COVID, because a lot of rewrites, we were behind. So I had to leave to go concentrate on it. So we only had maybe, I think, 10 weeks to prep. So I said, it was part of my pitch to Patrick. It was part of my pitch to LeVar. I said, when I told LeVar, he was in tears. He's like, I bring back the Enterprise. He was like, yes, and he cried. And I started crying. It's like, I'm already crying. And so there was no way we couldn't do it. And so we tore down the chateau. That stage, that empty stage, you said was Picard's chateau. I was like, we'll just get it out of the first episode and start building and pray that we'll make it in time. But
the last version that had been in there for the longest time, that we all fell in love with. It wasn't the Generations Bridge, even though that made the most sense. I mean, if someone put fender flares on your Camaro and you're going to restore it, it's going to go back to factory original. So it's like no one really remembered the Generations Bridge, even though that, you know, in canon would have been the actual one. But it was like, no, Geordi would go back to what he loved, and that would.
And we had a line, I think, originally in the first draft of the script where he actually addressed that exact thing. Where it was like,
Well, the common, you know, the knee-jerk reaction to go, oh, well, they must have had tons of archive materials and had the old bridge in a warehouse and all these files and documents. Is that what happened, Liz?
there was some stuff, but there wasn't like a, hey, here's how to rebuild the bridge plan binder. So we went to archives, we went to Doug Drexler's garage. Like, what do you got, Doug? The Akutas had some stuff in their garage too, but we really reached out to your Killibrand, who's a super Star Trek super fan who knows everything about. I need to do a season 7 bridge. Dave pointed me to him, and he was like, "This is the guy that you're going to talk to make sure you get all your details straight." So Yurk helped me pull screen grabs. He was our research assistant remote, and then we just started compiling information. So with all of that, the first step that you do is you hire a set designer or someone on staff. You conscript them to start drawing the set, exactly right. And they're drawings from season 1, not from season 7. So we have these drawings, and then here's where Kevin comes in, and he started modeling. And I actually forgot about him. I was doing the sick bay and the crew quarters and the nacelle room and the transporter room. I had tons of stuff going on.
All right, so question for you, Kevin. So when it came to when things really kicked in for you, what were those initial challenges, and especially when it came to making sure that this was accurate, because you knew that fans were going to really go through this with a fine comb, right? Because isn't that what we do, folks? But what were those initial challenges for you when you really jumped in?
Initially, it was you got to get it right. And there was a lot of stuff online, but it's not quite right. Drexler's drawings were good, but they weren't all there.
1 and 2. And when they moved it, the grips screwed up the placement of it, and so it was short 3 foot on one side. So that's why we're missing ceiling ribs after season 2, and so by season 7 there's less ceiling pieces. So this poor guy Kevin has, there's a ceiling drawing that's not accurate to what we're doing, and he's got to take into account all of these changes that happened at Paramount 34 years ago. So it's kind of funny.
All right, so Kyle, look, one of the first things I noticed when I first saw Next Gen in '87 was that horseshoe. It was such a unique look, and it turned out to be, as you all discovered here, probably the hardest piece to bring in. Todd, you were shaking your head in unison with that. Okay, but at this point, this is when you came on, and when it came to doing the horseshoe and the turbo lift, what was your entry point into all of that and the challenges you faced?
Well, it was a humbling experience, to say the least. We had some good resource material, being the original hand drawings from the 80s. But
as to combine the works that they were doing, so that you could show to the producers and Terry, did you start to see all this as it was happening, or did they okay, let's bring in Terry and show Terry and see what he thinks?
Boy, I wish I remembered. We were writing up until the last minute and producing every one of those episodes was its own movie.
Forward with all of the choices that we were trying to make.
Now, the carpet turned out to be a very, very, very big deal when you look at it in SD versus HD. So what were some of the major challenges that you had to hit there?
Well, they stopped selling that carpet in the early 90s. So I'm looking for a Berber dot that doesn't exist. So it's all hyped up. Oh, the search for the carpet, but we were getting close to the install time, and I didn't have a carpet selected to be purchased. Does it need to be shipped in or whatever? So I bought 2 different colors. There was an SD brown version and then an HD red version. But the carpet was the hardest thing. It's funny, it's such a silly thing to complain about. That was the hardest part of recreating that set, but it had just the right dimple in it. People were going to know if it was wrong. So that was, I guess, for me, the biggest struggle.
All right, so, bring back little these legacy players, Dave Glass. You talk about Doug Drexler, and then, Mike Okuda, Denise Okuda. How did that come about? Was that always the plan to bring them back, to call these legacy people who worked on the earliest, Rick Berman shows there?
Yeah, Terry, because he was part of that era, knew, and he had the same feeling that I did. These people are icons. It's not just the actors, but the designers are so important. And Terry was always like, let's get as many people back as we could. And we tried for season 2, but Mike and Denise were on For All Mankind. And then we were lucky to have Mike come in and upgrade the LCAR system for the Stargazer, and he was able to work with that. And then Doug Drexler was also on the Orville. I'm like, dude, you're playing for the cover band. Why don't you come back? And we were able to pull him away from there, and he came in and did work with on. So it's kind of one thing after another. We got John Eaves, and it's just one, and then all of a sudden it's like, Worf needs a new weapon. It's like, well, it's called Dan Curry, and so we would, that became our default of, rather than let's do it ourselves. It's like, well, no, let's reach out to the people who did it originally and let them know that we love them, we respect them, and we're continuing their legacy, if you would.
So when you have a black piece of glass, so Mike Ikuda got cup holders in there, and I think that Starbucks cup is yours, Terry. It's the only one allowed.
I remember that.
It's taken away immediately.
All right, Kyle, the horseshoe is taking shape here. Let's talk about. Wait.
Yeah, no, you're good. So here, I'll just lead into this. Go back one slide. So there was the horseshoe when they built it in *87. The guy who was building the horseshoe, Jim Woods, tragically actually died during the build. And it was one of those things where he was in a car accident. He left the hospital against medical advice to go back to work to finish this horseshoe. And the next weekend, had an aneurysm and tragically died. So I told that story to the guys when we were rebuilding the new horseshoe. We're like, all right, guys, this is a really difficult thing that we're going to have to redraw and rebuild. So, it started with Kyle having to remodel it. And he had to remodel it because the drawings that we had were just pencil drawings that weren't exactly what was built.
All right, take it, Kyle, in terms of rebuilding.
Yeah, you can see there were many long hours in the chair, and my back was definitely feeling it. But yeah, this process was essentially just building the model from the drawings that we had, looking at the reference, looking at the different angles, and this probably got rebuilt about 10 times before we landed on something that we felt was looking correct. And then when it really started to, when we really nailed it down, it was because, I guess Ikuda had found the graphics that went on there. So we were able to essentially just make sure that it matched and that we had the right shape there and everything. And it was really interesting too, because what we were able to do is to essentially unfold the surface. So, through the model, we can just extract that.
My soul.
That's priceless.
Many Bothans died. Wait, wrong thing. I'm sorry.
All right, the chairs. You're thinking, oh yeah, they got the chairs, probably from the Star Trek experience in Las Vegas at the Hilton where Elvis used to play. All right, Terry, what was the drama with the chairs and getting that right? Because obviously, the chairs, especially the captain's chair, the chairs that you had weren't the right ones, or the material wasn't right. What happened there?
Well, I think so many of them had disappeared throughout the years. There was one in my office, but that was from a touring.
It was a tour. Everyone says, it's why didn't you use the Vegas set? Well, the Vegas set, awesome as it was, wasn't right. And if you actually go back and for any of you who have your photos, go look at the Vegas set and then look at the real set, and the chairs are wrong, everything. So much is wrong, but it was cool, it was a good display, but it just wasn't the Enterprise. And once you put side-by-side photos, you notice it's okay, we need to rebuild the chairs. And we had one that was from something that we looked and it was close, but then it's if anyone's done a home remodel, it's how much is it going to cost me to redo this thing versus just doing it from scratch? It's easier to do it from scratch.
Can you imagine if your graphics could do that? What would those animations be? And he was at first I thought he was going to be no. He was okay, let me go think about that. So it was pretty exciting to have the original people modernize a lot of those ideas.
All right, so,
the band's coming out, Scott.
All right, so
they're going to try to talk.
Hang on a second. All right, so McCarthy, we talked about McCarthy. Okay, Herman Zimmerman comes to the set. What was that like? After his legendary work on Next Generation, it's you're revealing, that must have been a nerve-wracking moment, Dave.
Herman for me was an icon. I mean, it was like, that's the guy I want to be. And I had the chance to bring him up on a Sunday. I said, yeah, I'd love to show you something. And I didn't tell him what he was going to see. And I said, I want to show you something. I took him over and I showed him the Titan and toured him around. I said, in order for me to look forward and see what, is going to be the next great starship, I have to look back and study your work. And I had one more thing to show him, and we opened up the stage, and I walked him onto the bridge of the Enterprise D, and it's like his face was just like, oh my God, how did you do this? And then we showed him the whole thing, and he's just looking at all the details and everything, and he just was amazed. But it was just giving a gift back to someone and saying, not only do we care, there's so much reverence and respect for what you've done and the gift that you've given us by doing this. I mean, it's not just the actors, it's the designers, it's the illustrators, it's all these people here who give so many hours and things to create the dreams that you guys all watch. And that for me is the most important thing. It's like, Herman for me was someone who created my dreams, and here I am back creating dreams for you guys. So it was giving back to him that wonderful moment.
All right, Terry, I'm watching you watch those pictures go by, and you're like shaking your head like, are you like thinking like, I can't believe I got to freaking do that?
And I don't remember so much of it because we had no time to shoot on that. We only had 2 days to shoot on that bridge.
Let's stop it right there. You took all this time to rebuild the thing, all the money to rebuild this, and you had how many days?
2 days to do both episodes.
What, just 2 days?
I think we shot like them coming onto the bridge and like. I think we shot them coming onto the bridge in just 2 hours, which is like the most important moment of the whole thing. That's all we had, but that we had to be ambitious. I just want to say one thing before we go. This got done because of everybody up here have a love for the game, for a love of Star Trek. This was not, no one got rich doing this. They went so far above and beyond, late hours, killing themselves. Everyone up here for this moment, because they were fans, because they knew of its importance. And I don't think they get enough credit for how the resources we had, which were small. I know that's surprising. To do this, it meant that people had to kill themselves. So they really deserve this applause and all the credit for it.
One more question. Again, after all this blood, sweat, and tears to get this exactly right. And I just want to mention here, the last 2 episodes of that season of Picard were like, well, every episode of that season was like a feature film. But Terry Vitalis directed these last 2 episodes, which were as good as Star Trek ever got. Wait, Terry, hang on. When you got to the moment when you were filming, that moment when everybody took their station, and Picard says engage, and you're behind the camera, and you're like action. What was that moment like?
I know, everybody wants to hear and there I was, and my childhood self, I started to cry.
Pulling his hair out.
I was so terrified that I wasn't going to get the moment right because we only had 2 minutes to do it, that I didn't have time. It wasn't until it all came together, when we cut it together and added the music, then I had that moment that it happened. But I mean, just looking at these pictures, that's a guy who hasn't slept in 72 hours. Doing DoorDash at 2 a.m. to survive. It was the love of the game because we should not have done it. But I'm very glad that we did.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up to New York Picard that made the Enterprise be happy. All the Star Trek Picard. Last one,
wonderfully bizarre, and it's some of that campiness that I think we enjoy from time to time in our Star Trek, but it is definitely weird.
That's great. You know, I'm gonna cheat a little because I don't want to say strategic operations as well, but IMAX had one of these VR, like Star Trek, it was the Kelvin universe experiences where you go and you're in the Star Trek adventure and you're on the bridge and you have to save people from a Klingon attack. And you know, we went, a bunch of us went, and you know, the whole thing was like, oh, this will be fun, it'll be a big joke, you know, we'll have fun. And within 30 seconds of this thing starting, it's like, I think Jeff Bond was with it, get those screens up, what's going on? You know, it's like, you're incompetent. And it was like, we were so into this whole thing that it was absolutely crazy. But I have to say, and again, I won't say worst because it's not the worst, but when I got my first PC back in '89, there was a Star Trek V, the Final Frontier game. And the thing that always blew my mind was, I mean, the graphics are a little hit or miss, but it had a perfect rendering of Harv Bennett as the Admiral. And I'm wondering, you know, well, you got Harv right. You know, I guess licensing got Harv's approval on that game. It was like so funny, like all the characters that could be in there. We have Admiral Harv Bennett, the producer of the movie. It's nuts. It's funny, Dan said weirdest. What are some of the other weird pockets of Star Trek video fandom?
It's a 14-hour experience.
And I gotta ask you, because obviously we all know in television that generally, you know, unless it's a true detective or something, that episodes are broken in a room by a staff. And, you know, obviously it's boarded, the beats are boarded, and an outline is written in a script. How do you approach that kind of massive amount of material as head writer or something? Do you have a brain trust? Is it all you? How does that all work?
Well, it runs on coffee. And what we do have a brain trust on the Star Trek Resurgence game, a gang of 5 that we all work together at Telltale Games, including one of the co-founders, and we were sort of the brain trust together. In terms of breaking the story, we had a 3-day story session with representatives from, at the time it was CBS Consumer Licensing, which then, you know, has morphed into CBS Viacom and then CBS Paramount. But we did 3 days with them where we basically brought in, we had already decided we're going to do the Takan Empire. We went in and we started just breaking ideas, but then it was another several months of outlining the overall arc of this story in about a 6-page set of movements, you know, that we knew that like this was what our first third was going to be, our middle third, our final third.
Like a fell in my pizza.
You did that in person. Over at the office, yeah, 5. Yeah, I saw ahoy. Ahoy, Michael. And then you have a confirmation number, but I didn't get a confirmation number. Money's coming out of my account, but I can say that. Yeah, it's all right here. We'll send it right here.
Moopsie is trying to escape. Oh no.
Thank you.
And if you'd like someone to me, you're more than welcome. We'll get into that in seconds.
Yes.
I also have the Shrike is the official villain of this film, and Sean Ferret was in it. So
The Shrike is?
The Shrike is the villain of this film, and it fucking slays. That thing looks good in motion. I'll send you a link when it's done. I don't want to spoil it, of course, from the thing, but the Shrike comes out of a portal and fights Defiant. It's pretty epic. I thought, fuck it, I want to do a Shrike film.
In this era?
Yeah, it's a time portal. Picard Legend, I mean, whatever you want.
About Marvel showing.
But I am doing more Picard stuff because it's.
Where are you in London?
Near enough, yeah.
I'm going to be in London for 7 months.
Oh shit. Oh, you're when for 7 months?
Pinewood.
Oh, for the Marvel thing.
Yeah.
Oh, well done for that, by the way.
What?
Well done for that, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we can. I come down. Hey, you can come and shoot and be in a Picard film. A Queen uniform.
No way.
And that was definitely to me. To Sam. To Samuel. Samuel, yeah. Samuel.
That's my kid's name.
He's joking.
Just Sam.
UEL, right?
Yes, UEL. He's joking.
I believe he's joking.
No, he tells me and I gotta listen. Too busy making magic.
I'm like, I got $100,000 in the screenplay.
Yeah.
Hi, Sean. How are you getting on? Are you well?
This is for my captain's log.
Hello.
Oh no. Had a tricorder malfunction.
Is it okay? I saw him last night from
So it's 11:15. I lost Sam for a minute. Matt went to look for Sam. Then me and Mark went to look for both Sam and Matt because they both disappeared. I finally found Sam, but Matt got all the way down to Vic's. So we're heading down to Vic's now. And oh, that's cool. I haven't seen that yet. Check. Well, I found Matt. Matt's over there, right there. But it's also karaoke, so it's a little loud. Anyways, found him.
Okay, so that would be pre-refit. Okay. And his amazing first officer who looks like...
I keep waiting for Sam to let me texture the Resolute.
Texture?
He wants to remaster it.
I mean, he wants to make it not suck.
I mean,
I'm kidding.
Voyager A, you've got a list.
I know, but the Resolute...
Yeah, but
He's already pretty.
He doesn't work for you. You don't pay
Well,
him.
But you don't have one that has the docking ring on the back.
I don't. No, because I don't like it. What?
Well,
yep.
It's okay, you can be wrong.
Stuart, can I?
He's wrong very often, so
Damn it.
yes.
Sam and Wire.
into day 3. Pretty busy day. My feet were sore. My feet were killing me, as a matter of fact. But it's all good. It's all for a good cause, I guess. More to come on the next video, so be sure you're subscribed to the channel, this channel, the Captain Foley personal channel, as well as the Trekyards main channel, where you'll see all the interviews and stuff with all the celebrities that we did do at the convention. It'll be over there on the Trekyards channel. And check out the next video in the series right there, right now. Until next time, I'm Captain Foley. Bye, guys.